What a day. Oh my. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous in the woods today. Have a look for yourself. Talk about quantum entanglement. Pretty happy being entangled in this reality. Wow. Ah, the air is so clean. It's beautifully warm today. If you're just joining in, welcome. Give yourselves a little vacation by living vicariously through this blue sky. No chemtrails. Just perfect spring on its way. Jump in and enjoy. Welcome, everyone. I'll just start calling out the names that I see. So if you're coming and going, that's all good too. Alaska Chick, KC, what's up? Rhonda, hi. I'm not so much a stranger as much as I'm here. I am here. Robert, Trish, what's up? The Friendly, what's up? Yeah, I think we're gonna do a little bit of rock hounding. Let's do a few minutes of rock hounding here today. I'm feeling it. The rock hound within me is feeling the itch. The chickadees are around, so things are thawing. Let's go have a look at some rocks. Ooh. The skunk cabbage is coming through today. I forgot about that. I forgot about the skunk cabbage. It's starting to sprout. That's a big sign that spring is here. La Sandwich, Pale Horse, Chief Evans, The Lion. What's up, everyone? Piano, or Pano. There's a misnomer. What's up, everybody? User 78544265084. Let's go have a look at some stones. Talk about consciousness in stone. Whoa, there's a red-tailed hawk. That is a big red-tailed hawk. Oh, it's perched right there. Nice. That's a beauty. Where are you? It's so camouflaged, it's hard to see. Where is it? There it goes. That's a beautiful red-tailed hawk. Silent as can be. What a sighting. What a sighting. Welcome, everyone. All right. We got some water flowing here today. We've had enough melt and enough rain. Doesn't look like much probably to you, but this space is filled with agates. We just have to be creative and look around. And we'll find them. This is an agate-rich area. Let's get down here and have a look. Let's get into the thick things. Ooh, that's an agate. I think this is hematite with some red jasper. Let's have a look. I can find a hematite with some red jasper. Let's have a gander here. This one right here. Yeah, that's a red jasper for sure. That's a monster. That's some hematite in it. Look at that. Ferrous oxide. It's full in this. This is a nice heavy agate. Look at that color. Gorgeous. Right off the bat. Very nice. What else is there? Ooh, there's a big hematite. I mean, big. Right there. You see that volcanic rock? This could be an agate too. Let's have a look. Oh my. Look at the color on this. Look at that hematite. Whew. This has been smoothed out from the alluvial deposits, just this water running for however long. But look at the shine on this one. That is a gorgeous hematite. This is a healing stone. This might even have some magnetite to it. I mean, I wonder how magnetic this is. But what a beauty. It's even got some yellow jasper going on. And this is where the inclusions, this is where the inclusions are. Let's have a look. This is where the fracture was, or the inclusion entry. And then it just got jam-packed with ferrous oxide. Whenever this happened, however this happened, it was right at that point there. This is dirty. I mean, this is just found right now. But I bet you this would clean up and glow. Look at that. Gorgeous. What a stone. That's just so nice. Phew. Wow. I bet you this would shine through with a light. You're already getting some of that with the sun here. But that's a hematite with some ferrous oxide, and it's got some yellow jasper. What a gorgeous stone, man. That is a beauty. Because it's so smooth. I think we have, this looks like it could just be quartz, but I think we might have a garnet here. This could be a garnet. No, this is just standard quartz. Not like it's a bad thing, but it's a big quartz. Common, but all the same beautiful. What do we have here? Oh, yeah, this is skunk cabbage coming through the ground. There's your skunk cabbage growth. This is a good, ideal time for some rock hunting before they take over and proliferate. So we're just going to have a look through. But man, what a stone that is, that hematite. Exciting. Exciting. When I talk about alluvial deposits, I'm talking about these flows of water. They go for sometimes millions of years. And it just tumbles and washes down the stones and smooths the edges over time, really. Yeah, this looks like it's got some inclusions. This is another quartz. This, a typical quartz stone that you'll find. They're all healing stones. And by that, they are piezoelectric or piezoelectric, however you want to describe it. You put mechanical stress on the points of these stones and they create a current. And that also releases electrons. Those electrons pass into the skin and remove impurities. This is a big quartz right here. This whole thing, just a massive quartz stone. It's a giant. Giant amongst giants. Pretty cool. To give you an idea of scale, it's the size of that quartz. All right, and so we got more hematite going on here. I can see it clear as day. Lots of volcanic stone. And when you get to this volcanic stone, it's just older. Clara's asking, what is the live about? Typically, Clara, and welcome. Typically, we talk about consciousness However, crossing the bridge today, which we cross every day, I decided that I would do some rock hounding. I was feeling like going to the stream and looking at some stones because we have the emergence of a bunch of skunk cabbage, and once that comes in, it becomes pretty difficult to come through here. So I figured we'd take an opportunity and do some rock hunting. But typically we talk about consciousness and the meaning of life. And you're welcome, Clara. I appreciate you asking. Typically we talk, and I'll say hello to you. Typically we talk about consciousness, the meaning of life. We talk about manifestation, how to bring forth things that we desire. We go through affirmations and we'll discuss different sources of how to increase our intelligence through study. Every day is a discourse, and it usually varies based on the questions that are asked. So by asking a question, it's good because it sends us into a new direction. Speaking of that, I see some more hematite here. Hematite is a very good healing stone, and I love it. Personally, I love how it feels in the hand, and I'm sure this is no exception right here with this one. Let's give it a rinse. Let's have a look at it in the sun. Anytime these stones are wet and in the sun, you can see their true colors. This is where the hematite is, and this is also yellow jasper, or it could just be a dirty quartz, but I would say this is pretty close to cryptocrystalline. Very smooth. And you see you get that bluish red almost hue, the metallic hue. That's the sign that it's either hematite or it's magnetite. It could be a magnetic stone. The ones that I find in this region is in specific here, this area, just this little parcel of land. I find a lot of stones that are older and volcanic that help with physical healing. Clara asks, I'm healing from a complicated process with my person. Is there any stone that could help? Good question. Grand Rising, Jessica. Welcome. Starsmith, thanks for following. Let's field this question by Clara. So, basically what happens is when we go through what would be considered a breakup, we are shifting our way of being, at least as a performing identity, like Clara, the performing identity, which is fed by consciousness, which is your truth. Consciousness is your truth, Clara is the result. You have to go from being with someone and feeling unified to now being separate from that one and having to find unification yet again as an individual. And so the stones that help a lot, which is the question, what stone helps a lot with this, is that very stone that I tossed, the hematite. I would say a carnelian agate, but most of these volcanic stones have to do with absorption of energy. When you're looking at the darker stones, so obsidian would be another really good one. If you can get your hands on some obsidian, because that comes from volcanic eruptions that turn into glass. Dragon glass from the Game of Thrones series. I see a really nice hematite down there. I'm going to show it to you. It's just popping out at me. Not to mention, I mean, most of these, basalt, the volcanic, anything dark is absorbing of light, which is also absorbing of information and absorbing of pain. There could be pain remembrances that are being managed at this moment in time, and that's totally normal. And of course, understand that separation in truth, when we're looking at who we are as human beings, separation is actually an illusion. So you have an indelible connection through spirit with your partner. That doesn't end. However, the identities that we build from it have plenty of beginnings, middles, and ends, and that's why we're here, to experience them. So it's normal. Wow, that's a goodie. Look at this one. This is nice too. I would say you could get your hands on a yellow jasper with some hematite, like this. Yellow jasper is great at healing from gossip or just the locker room talk. When we tend to have more so relationships or love relationships with our pain, love relationships with problems, not to say this is an assumption of anyone, but we do, because it gives us an ability to relate to one another. So we start to talk about our problems. The only issue with that is that the cells in our body, it's a disservice to them, because anytime we start to talk about our issues, we are inviting those cells into the environment that we're making. And so if we're talking about something repeatedly, not to say that anyone is, but it's good to have this knowledge. When you're speaking about a situation that has to do with what's already happened, i.e. gossip, it invites the cells to go to that scenario, whereas we live kind of fun and vicariously through it. We don't really take it too seriously unless we're really feeling the trauma. Then we start to perform in it. But we're really just talking about something that's already happened. So most importantly, for the cells of our body, since they feel where we go in our mind, we offer them some resolution. And we do seek resolution, just like we would listen to a song. Yeah, the chorus is good, the verse is good, but we want that transition from chorus to verse. We want that transition from verse to bridge, and then certainly we want the outro, and then we want to listen again. We want to recycle through it. So right now, it's just that your experience is a cycle. It's something that is happening as a natural course of anything that exists. It has beginning, middle, and end. So if it feels intense, that intensity cannot be sustained. It goes for the good or the bad. So that's a good thing. That should be reinforcing. That should be reassuring to understand that any pain you feel is totally temporary, as well as any pleasure. So what is permanent that we can constantly access is this source of light. The source of light is your consciousness. Think of it like it's constantly with you. Even though it may be cloudy, it's always there. So sometimes it requires us to exercise a thing called faith, which is to believe that our wish-fulfilled life is there, our satisfaction with one another, the love that we seek, the success that we're seeking. Most of the seeking that we do is outside of ourselves, and it's erroneous because we have the source right here. Technically, this source is within you. It's what's giving us the life experience. So by going to that, in truth, we become whole, we become complete, regardless if we're with someone or not. The answers appear in the form of we've stepped into our kingdom and we are embracing that kingdom of heaven as if it is our own kingdom, which is, in truth, consciousness for you, for anyone. Consciousness is your kingdom of heaven. We have some comments filtered. I have to approve them. That's fine. SPC Construction says, well done, sir. And says, let's see, these comments were hidden by our community flagged filter. Approve comments to unhide them. Yeah, I have no idea why this was filtered. But usually when it does get filtered, I just pin it like this. So this is coming in from SPCS Construction. Says the Master Key System book written in 1916 does a great job explaining this. Indeed. I often refer people to the Master Key Society on YouTube, which has this book. It's a nice long book. And then there are ones where if people don't have, 7 to 10 hours for, and not to say that this is a criticism of the book at all. It's to say there are some that will allow people to get access to the same knowledge in a very condensed short period of time. And one of those books is It Works. And then another, that's like a half an hour or 25 minutes. And then there's another one that's Neville Goddard's Feeling is the Secret. And of course, the Master Key System, is that Manly P. Hall? Those are ravens flying very hard and fast. Is that by Manly P. Hall? I could be wrong. Let me look here for some other stones that might be beneficial if you're going through any sort of life change that has to do with letting go. Any dark stone. would be very good. Carnelian agate is great for the healing of the body too. You know, when we come out of relationships, it's not just coming out of the relationship from an energetic or emotional standpoint. We're sharing our bodies in most instances with this partner. And so our entire pH of our body has adjusted to receive the person, especially in the case of the female. If this is a heterosexual relationship, I'm not sure if it is, and it doesn't matter so much. It's just to point it out that if you're opening up your body as a female to your partner, it creates a whole pH change. I mean, an environmental change. The biome of your body changes. It does for the male to a certain extent too. A lot of people don't realize that when we are in a relationship and we have our partner is pregnant, the man will go through a lot of similar experiences. His testosterone will decline. He'll see an increase in his estrogen levels. His bone density will decrease, but he'll also become more receptive to caring at home. And this happens. It's what happens scientifically. So when we're sharing our bodies in a relationship and then we have a breakup, it can have a major impact in a number of ways. This is what appears to be a conglomerate. It's a form of quartz. This would be a good healing stone too, just a basic conglomerate, which is an amalgamation or a combination of many stones. Some limestone in that, some quartz. It smells pretty skunky over here. You can tell that the skunk cabbage is coming forth, like in a matter of days. It was very quick. Got some really nice warm weather, and now it's waking the earth up. But we have so much hematite around here, it's hard to even choose what to show you. So I think that's the sign. Get yourself some hematite, some carnelian agate, and some pink quartz for self-love. And when we're talking about self-love, we are decidedly going within to the imagination, stepping through those narrow gates into a place where there's no limitation and no want, so long as we recognize the truth in being as wish fulfilled. All right. Let's have a look at this one in the sun. Oh yeah, this is a beauty. Let's have a look at this. Julie King says, God bless you and your wisdom. Thank you, Julie. It's coming from you. I'm just a radio station picking up a signal and giving it back to you because you're tuned in. Clara says, I just want to catch up on this. The Perceptive Poet, thank you for following. Sophia Christus, you too. Thanks for following. Not sure if I missed some of that tail end from you, Clara, but I pray that the things that I'm saying have some form of service for you. They serve you in some way. K-Must, thanks for following. Vicky, what's up? Good to see you again. Thanks for following. Or for being here, rather. K-Must, thank you for following. That's what I meant to say. And good to see you all. Okay, let's have a look at this in the sun. This is a hematite. The way you can tell, typically, is it gives you almost a bluish metallic sheen. That when you get this in the sun, obviously some areas of this stone will not have it as intensely, but it's really intense right here. It's almost a bluish metal. In most cases, it's magnetic. Not to say it's a lodestone, which charges other stones, but you get some of that magnetism, and that's what you want to rattle through the body. You give it some mechanical stress by giving it a nice grip, and what it will do is send a charge through the body. And it absorbs a lot of things. I know that doesn't sound very scientific, but it does. It absorbs from the cells whatever it's looking to unwind. Magnetism helps with the unwinding of things. I know someone would say that's not true. It attracts things, yes. But if you have the same charge, then it repels. That's the truth of magnetism. So there might be instances when you want to feel distance from something, you know? You want to feel that separation. because it's comforting to feel, at least in the moment, like there's some distance between self and pain, or distance between self and life situations that are undesirable. That can certainly be a good thing. I think of like the endocannabinoid system. It just comes to mind. It rings through right now. We have this system in our body that was discovered by an Israeli chemist back in 1992. And it's been around for millions of years. It's found in reptilians. The endocannabinoid system is very old. And it seems that when it's active, when anandamide is binding to the CB1 and CB2 receptors, we tend to have this form of forgetfulness. And most people think that forgetfulness is a bad thing. But I usually give the example, what if we remembered the first day of our life? I mean, prior to the first day of our life, it was probably very comfortable. You know, we're in a womb. We have the comfort of the amniotic fluid, and everything's being fed to us, and it's all hunky-dory. Feels really good. And then suddenly, our source seemingly calcifies, the placenta calcifies, and suddenly the things that are sent over to us aren't really coming in as efficiently as before. And then the bottom drops out. We flip upside down. The water breaks. We no longer have buoyancy. We have to look at the world entirely different from where it was. And then we're pushed out of our home, out of our kingdom, forced out through a narrow passage into the light. And once we're into the light, we have to, seemingly blinded, find our way to a source of energy to survive. It's quite traumatic. Could be. After you were just in the kingdom, everything was perfect. Perfect and cared for. And then the bottom drops out, you flip upside down, and you're pushed out. The very cord that gave you life and all of your nutrients is cut. And now you have to fend for yourself. So to me, it's no surprise that the largest concentration of endocannabinoids in the form of anandamide is found in the mother's milk. In the colostrum, those first droplets, which are like an oasis in the desert for a baby, has all the nutrients and antibodies and flora for the stomach to help kick it into gear to move backwards. Everything has to move in the opposite direction when a baby is born. It's a complete axis shift. And so it would make sense that there be a system of forgetfulness introduced. And it comes in the form of anandamide, which is a direct cousin, if you could call it. It's almost an exact replica of tetrahydrocannabinol, which is the psychoactive component of the cannabis plant. Instead of us getting it from the outside world, we're actually getting it from the source of our salvation, our mother's teat. And then, of course, we get all the oxytocin that comes from that, the bonding and the warmth. And so it's our salvation. It's part of our salvation. So it would make sense to me that forgetting things, this idea of forgetfulness, be an essential part of who we are as human beings. That not everything is meant to be remembered in total detail with intensity all the time, or at all. So there's a benefit to forgetfulness, to forgetting things. That's what we're getting to here. So whether it's a stone, whether it's a plant, whether it's meditation and long, deep breathing, whether it's a walk in the woods, or a trip to the shore, or a fleeting moment on social media, coming and going, there is a certain element of forgetting whatever else was causing pain involved. And it's natural. What isn't natural, if you were to ask me, and it's just my opinion and it's just my narrative, but it is something that I've studied a lot. What isn't natural is revisiting these painful remembrances for mere entertainment purposes without any goal involved other than to feel exactly how we felt when it was most painful. Or to even try to intensify it. Take it beyond and share it with others. Infect them with the same story. That, to me, is in short form insanity. But we do it so often because we are beings of feeling who are just looking for a change from the norm. Whatever the status quo is, it's not comfortable enough to be okay with it. So we seek out these exciting situations. They're not healthy, but they're exciting. They're adrenaline pumping. And the more people we bring into it, of course, the more coherence exists with that, the more we can build on it. And this would be so great if it didn't have such a detrimental effect on the physical body. I would be totally on board with its entertainment, and I would be promoting it with you. But the fact that it brings people to tears, leads them into believing that they're sick, helpless, have no choice but to face it, thus plunging themselves into a world of victimization, I simply can't be on board without it being neglect in some way. Understanding our origins. I talk about our origins a lot. Talk about them every day. It says here that this live is restricted for some audiences. It contains themes that may be uncomfortable and has been restricted. I'm going to send some feedback. It says I can. It says, share your feedback to make our community better. It says, here are the options that have been pre-selected for me, even though it wants me to share feedback. It wants them to be pre-selected choices. That's not really feedback. That's called dictatorship. But I'll read it to you anyway. The decision is, here's one option that I have. The decision is fair and the restriction is reasonable. I don't know what the restriction is, so how can I know whether it's fair or not if I haven't been told what it is? That's not fair. I can then choose, I understand the decision, I don't understand the decision. The decision has been made without any consultation, without any warning, without any reason, definition, or explanation. And so that's dictatorial. It's also trespassing on something that is extremely creative, that isn't happening anywhere else on this platform, that you won't be able to find anywhere else. No one thinks this way, and no one walks this way for hours a day, saying these very things in this way. My live does not contain the content mentioned in the notice. I haven't received a notice. I don't know what the notice is, so I can't say yes or no. But I would to say the violation is incorrect, and it's a trespassing upon myself as a creative, and it's restricting information from reaching people who would otherwise be empowered by it. Because there isn't a single word that exists in all languages that should be so powerful as to bring someone to the feeling that they are hurt by it. This concludes the story of how we've chosen to be victims. And by restricting words and restricting conversations that are happening without any sort of use of vulgarity, sexualized situations, which you will find everywhere, vulgarity and hypersexualized situations with revealed body parts everywhere, making all sorts of noises for your entertainment or not. It's not something you consent to, and it's not considered a violation. My live does not contain the content mentioned in the notice. There's no notice. Where's the notice? It was decided. I don't even know what it is. What is offensive to people? What hurts you so badly, these sounds? It's the same as the wind. You've decided that the wind doesn't matter to you, it doesn't hurt you, but you could certainly put yourself out here in sub-degree temperatures and you could say it's worse than some swear words, worse than your trigger words. You'd like to be out of it as quickly as possible, but that doesn't give you a violation. Something with these words. that would allow people to decidedly give their God-given power to a vagabond as if he's the cause of your woes is the greatest laugh I could possibly have on this live stream. TikTok should allow content like mine. Yes, let's choose that. And this will be the standard every fucking time. TikTok, you should allow content like mine. Even though it's going to lower your sales and it's going to enhance people's intellect instead of dumbing them down into believing they're victim, it's actually going to help them by just letting this go. Because not a single part of me wakes up in the morning, TikTok, thinking I'm going to do damage to people, thinking I can't wait to break into their hearts and cause some form of pain. If that's the way that this is perceived, then there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. But if there's a little bit of intelligence peeking through in the smallest pinhole of light, you would understand that my reason in being here has nothing to do with likes, follows, subscribes, or product sales. I do that with the videos that I post. But when I'm live, I'm here to heal people. By restricting those people, whoever you restricted, you've essentially fucked them. Fucked them worse than anybody could be fucked. And that's on you. Restrictions. Live visibility restricted. Your live is not eligible for recommendation and restricted in search results because your live does not comply with the For You feed eligibility standards under our community guidelines. Whoever our is, I don't know either. I've never met our. Reason, discussing drugs or other related substances. I'm not discussing drugs. I'm not discussing drugs. I'm discussing the endocannabinoid system, which has existed in the brain for millions of years. And when I use tetrahydrocannabinol as a reference, I use it as a reference because of its chemical composition being nearly identical to something that we produce in our body automatically, naturally, when we meditate and we aren't seeing ourselves as victims of external circumstances. No, I'm not talking about drugs. I'm talking about something that has existed for millions of years as part of the human body and the mind. And you've made a mistake. 16 followers got here soon enough, though. 619 views. It was going really well. I guess I could restart for the sake of TikTok and everyone else and not mention anything else about tetrahydrocannabinol and its cousin, anandamide, and how it benefits you with forgetting your trauma. That it actually has a purpose, or else the system would not just exist in the body for no damn reason. Says here, your live contains themes that some may find uncomfortable. Of course, they're total weaklings. If you find anything that I'm saying uncomfortable, you are a weakling who is misusing their power to make yourself out to be a victim, when in fact you are consciousness, feeding yourself all of these restrictions. And you know who else is doing it? This guy right here. By finding any sort of emotional attachment to this story, I'm doing exactly the same. Good thing I discovered that. Regulated goods content. Reason. Don't know what regulated goods content means, but I would call it totalitarian decision making without anyone having a say over it. The person making the decision is on the other side of some place where we will never see, never converse, never talk. Just a person pushing the restriction button at any given moment in time if they find it doesn't rely or lie in to whatever narrative is being pushed by the executive saying you must push this button. Every time you see something that is strange, you must push this button. Every time something doesn't align with your ideal, and your ideal, of course, is our ideal. Everyone must be vanilla, cookie cutter. They're either showing their body and their ass in their tight-fitting yoga pants, or they're showing their cleavage and talking about products that are low in calorie, low in sugar, and high in fiber and protein. If they're not doing that, well, then you better freaking restrict them. And if this person's making any money from this platform, If they're showing any sort of social mobility and they continue to say these things, we will make them hurt. And we will make them hurt hard. When the fuck is this chapter going to end? Well, I can tell you when. Right now. This chapter ends right now. If you take away Americans' freedoms, like you're taking away mine, to enrich the lives of people who truly need this, then what you're doing, TikTok, is you're falling into the camp of everyone who is losing their job right now, losing their livelihood, because they threw out boomerangs that they didn't know would come back to hit them in the forehead. Yours is the biggest of all. Every time you hand out a restriction like this, it's another boomerang sent out. I don't think you believe me. And that's fine. You don't have to believe me. I've only been talking about it for a few years now, but you don't have to believe me. Take away my livelihood, take away my viewers, take away my ability to make money on this platform, take away anything that gives me financial freedom. And you are simply opening a door for a greater amount of wealth to pour into my life. And I embrace it. Please give me another restriction for saying the truth. TikTok. Tick-tock. Tick-tock. Folks, there was a day where I used to feel like if I lost this, I would lose everything. And I bet you probably feel that way too. If you don't restrict this guy, then someone's going to come breathe down your neck. Someone's going to make life worse for you. You might not get what you need. You might not be able to pay the bills. And I just want you to know, you're not alone. And that fear is pretty normal. However, if you have exercised your freedom enough to where you realize that you're still alive even after all the restrictions are imposed upon you, what happens is it becomes like any other repetition at the gym. It just is another exercise working another body part that otherwise was being neglected. Start to look towards it like a challenge that feels good, knowing it doesn't do anything to you. It doesn't have any impact on you. It just simply doesn't hold any grounds. TikTok wants a big red exclamation point to hurt you. Wants your body to feel it as pain. It wants you to see green lights and check marks as you're doing the right thing. Wants you to feel that and associate with that. But when I see a big red exclamation point now, what I feel is something just went on sale. Something just went on sale at a great discount. And I'm about to buy it. I'm about to buy it all while it's cheap. Nice, big, fat discount on sale. You ever see something on sale? It never shows itself as green numbers. No, it shows itself as minus 20%, minus 30%, minus 50%, and it's in big, fat, red color. That big, fat sale. TikTok doesn't want you to see it as a sale. It wants you to see it as a violation. A violation of some rights that have to do with some guidelines that were decided by some people who you will never meet, never talk to, never converse with, never share a single rational thought, but yet you have to follow it. Is that the type of world that you want to live in? Is that what I've manifest to? God forbid. God forbid. If every action has an opposite and equal reaction, and I don't want that, then that says something to me. It says every time you see red, you win. Every time you see green, you gain. Green is a gain, red is a win. Nothing negative anymore. Nothing negative anymore. It's all receiving. So, Trish says, a world that doesn't let people follow their hearts. Sueru says, love you. Love you too, Sueru. Vicky says, no. Love you, brother, says Trish McCabe. If they take us out, they take themselves out too, Trish says. It's true. The United States is TikTok. Let's just say it, folks. You take away every single influencer from the United States and you take away everyone's livelihood on TikTok. That's a good feeling. That's a good feeling. You take away every influencer from the United States, you take away TikTok, it dies. It's the heart. So let this be the lesson. You take away the heart, the entire system dies. Doesn't matter how smart the brain is, it feeds off of the heart. TikTok, are you listening? You're throwing boomerangs at the wrong person. You're throwing boomerangs at someone who you believe is William Vincent Carleton, who's going to feel this pain, and he does. Poor child within, but he's being backed by a sole proprietor who represents the infinite source of creation. You can't fuck with that because that source decides whether or not you have a chance to even fuck around. And I don't think you see it. I just don't think you see it. And I gotta tell you, Source has got a hard-on for William Vincent Carleton right now. He's been through a lot of shit. He's been through a lot of hardship. He's been judged a whole lot in a lot of wrong ways. And he invited it into his own life through his own erroneous thoughts and feelings. But he's been going for a good couple years now, recognizing the errors of his ways, making amends by loving his neighbor as himself. And right now he's checked out. He's checked out entirely to allow God's given force to work this all into some sort of conclusion where there's a greater door. I see thousands of people now, thousands of people tuning in. I see millions of dollars coming in, and I see people who pulled the trigger before to restrict things, getting down on their knees, begging for William Vincent Carleton to offer some form of wisdom and forgiveness, to which he says, you are a fool for thinking it was William all along who did all this. Don't revere the vagabond in the woods. A little advice for the day. Don't thank him. Don't think he's of any worth or any value. Thank the aliveness that gives him consciousness on this day. Thank that. And you'll be thanking yourself. And that's appropriate. Hello, Sissy. Vicky says, you've helped me more in weeks than anyone. This is you, Vicky. God within you. Nova Deckard says, you are loved, love and light. Thank you, Nova Deckard. William Vincent Carleton is being taught to accept and love red warning signs, to see them as doors opening and things being on sale. Has to be. It has to be, because the days of going until something finally breaks and having it stripped away, taken and ruined, has happened so frequently that there must be some momentum there. However, the affirmations just don't align with it anymore. So it's on its way out, all this restriction, all this limitation, it's all out. Has no place anymore. Poor guy. Led himself to oblivion so many times. He just didn't want to do it anymore. So he gave up. He gave the controller to the hands of the developer itself that made the game. Said, please manage this level. I don't know how to beat the boss. I don't know how to overcome these things. Yet I can't stop playing and I can't be silenced. So please play the game for me, dear Lord. That which is powering it from within me. I can't stop speaking and I can't stop creating. I can't stop living. It just goes against every fiber of my being, Lord. And every time it's taken away, it's like a teacher walking in and taking away my favorite toy for no reason, just because it can do it. So it thinks. I'll share with you beautiful 29 people who would likely be 1,200 at this moment in time if someone wasn't so butthurt by the things that I say. Who knows, it could just be an algorithm that's butthurt, misinformed and feeding itself off of a collection of data from 2019. Who knows, it might not have been updated since then. The world has changed and times have changed. People aren't so butthurt by things that are said anymore. We actually want to listen to them because the things that we were told should hurt us truly have not hurt us. Instead, it was the restriction of being able to listen to them freely that caused irreparable damage. And that needs to go. Says the people of the United States, we voted it. We voted by majority that we wished to not be restricted any further, nor did we wish to be robbed any further, have our livelihood messed with, or otherwise be trespassed upon. We voted. And TikTok, you're in our territory. TikTok, you're in my yard right now. This is my backyard. This is a very conservative town. A very conservative town in a state that's very liberal. Doesn't make you feel, shouldn't, like you can liberally step all over my freedom and tread on me, says William Vincent Carleton in his right mind. This is a conservative town. You can't just walk in here thinking you can ride your quads around, causing mayhem. People are armed, and they're looking for it because they've been walked on, trampled, censored. And so they're ready, almost anticipating a moment like that. There will be no burning of structures or looting of shops. And there will be growth and recovery in this far-right conservative town in the heart of Connecticut, a liberal of most liberal states. And I am proud as an identity to be in such a conservative town, because I can leave my door unlocked at night. Everyone's got their own vigilance and their cameras running, and they're certainly locked and loaded. We didn't have to be this way. Everyone could have had their doors unlocked the entire time, but someone decided to trespass on that freedom. Someone decided you have to give more to this group than to another group when we were all made in the image and likeness of God. There had to be the imposing of restrictions. There had to be guidelines. And if they weren't followed, then there would be further consequences. And of course, there's no end to that. You start to make those types of rules, it never ends until someone decides it's too much and wrecks the whole thing. Because it's trespassing. So I'm proud as an identity to be right here in the middle of a conservative, locked and loaded town. That's why I walk freely every day on this trail, and I have no qualms telling everyone where I am, because no one in their right mind would come into this town unless they lived here. There's just nothing to do. Nothing to come here for. unless you're looking for trouble. There's a small county store. The supermarket's outside of town. You know, there's infrastructure, but for the most part, we just keep to ourselves. And we prefer it that way. Does this sound selfish? Does this sound isolated? And if it does, so what? What gives if I've been given my kingdom to live this way? I've seen the other side of things. I've lived in a city that is overrun by woke ideology. I lived in it for over a decade, and I saw how it started to deteriorate from within. To where it is right now is it's being painted pink for entertainment purposes, destroyed, and men are leaving in droves. They just don't want to be part of it anymore. So what happens when the men leave? Does anyone know? Maybe we should ask the woodpecker. Maybe we should ask the carpenters. Maybe we should ask the firefighters. Maybe we should ask the police and the garbage disposal workers. You know, the garbage collectors? Those also who manage the sewers? Those who go to the front lines? Those who answer the door at night when there's a knock at 3 o'clock in the morning? Perhaps we should ask them. All I want is for people to live and let live. Notice how I didn't say leave me the F alone. I said live and let live. That includes freedom of speech. It's a big piece of it. Freedom of expression and peaceful communion. To talk about systems in the body that have existed for millions of years and not be restricted in talking about how there's a plant that has evolved with us, that has been systematically torn apart and ripped away from society. Because if you were actually to come in contact with this plant in truth and consume it, you would find it had all of your omegas, carbohydrates, proteins, trace minerals, terpenes. Before even experiencing its psychotropic effects, you would understand that it is perfect nutrition for your body, that it serves as a fuel source, alternatively, also serves as hemp coir for the making of rope, for the building of structures, for clothing and textiles. You'd find all these things. You'd find all of it. If it weren't so restricted. A-Town says, what part of Connecticut? I'm in Bridgeport. Are you in Black Rock? I used to work in Bridgeport. It's an interesting place. My mother was born there. I love you all. You know, when I get the community violations, me as an identity, I get pissed off. I'm waiting for this to end. It's been years of this. I had 3.5 years of beautiful novels just torn apart and thrown away by a Substack, of all places, claiming itself to be the pinnacle of free speech. Tossed it to the wind like a wanker would. Blocked on Medium, shadow banned, while other people were talking about bullshit, making shit tons of money, laughing at my demise. Fucking done with it, man. So done with it. I come through here every single day helping people to come into their being. And I'm just tired of being interfered with. And I know I'm using my I am power in this way. I know. And I know it's the new moon. And I know the world is listening, and I know the subconscious mind is paying attention to everything that I say. But goddamn, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Johnny says, the beach is beautiful today. I'm from Cape May, New Jersey, says Johnny. It's a good place to be, Johnny. It's very beautiful. Yeah, I was talking about the endocannabinoid system. That's what got me flagged. By the way, Maria, if you're out there listening, Maria from my agency, this is a great opportunity for you to kick someone in the ass. Seriously. I joined an agency so that this wouldn't happen. Promised that it wouldn't. TikTok wants to bring real creators to this platform and maintain them here. They got to stop fucking around with people. They got to stop fucking around with free speech. Because it tosses everything off the cliff. You know, I'm flowing, it's going well. People are asking me, how do I move through life experiences? How do I help myself with the loss of a partner? This is great. I've stumbled upon this. And bam. Restricted. Just like, fuck off, man. Seriously, just fuck off. Whoever it is. Doesn't do anything. It's not going to stop me. It doesn't ever stop me. But it does set me back. And it does set me off. Maybe that's what it's all about. Yep. You know, even Jesus of Nazareth got set off. Certain things pissed him off. He's human like anyone else in that way. So I'm pissed. Not happy about this. Want my audience back. And that's my choice, isn't it? It's my choice. You can exercise this with me. Say to yourself, I refuse to be a victim of external circumstances, no matter how real they may appear to be. I refuse to entertain it as much as I observe I am alive. You can join me in that mantra. See, this is why having a partner is very helpful. Because a partner, before all of this happens, can just put their hand on you, give you a hug, tell you it's okay, get you to feel that truth. And you can truly feel it. But when you're by yourself, you have to be that for yourself. I'm tired of being alone in that way. I'm ready for my life partner. One woman, rest of my life. I'm ready. She'll be very happy with me. Take good care of her. I'll protect her. Make sure she has everything she needs. Yeah, I think every man is that way too. You get tired of dealing with things by yourself. It's manageable, you can do it, it's fine. It's not enjoyable, but it can be done. That's not the way to live life. Got to be complete with a partner. Not like anything's missing without them, but you get to be complete. You know what I mean? Part of me loves being calmed down by a beautiful woman. When I say beautiful, I mean a woman who understands you. That's what determines beauty for a woman. To a man, she has the willingness to understand you. That creates beauty. She can just come right in and sense and calm you. Tell you it's all right. Yeah, I really want that. I go there every day. So whatever it is that needs to unwind, it's unwinding. Whatever it is on your end too, it's unwinding. When the world seems unfair, it's unwinding. It's just a loaded spring. It has to undo itself. Some days you're going to pitch, like I said before in one of my videos, some days you're going to pitch a no-hitter. It's going to feel perfect. Other days, you're going to give up a lot of runs and a lot of walks. Heck, you might even get thrown out of the game for violating the rules. Just know it's unwinding. It's all unwinding. TikTok saying, unable to verify. Unable to verify. Johnny says, make sure she's the right one. I get what you're saying, Johnny, but it's up to God. Yeah, I understand. It's no fun for that. That's for sure. Says Sissy. 11's blushing. Yeah, it can be. This type of talk can be that way. I get it. I love you all. Yeah, I just fucked everything. I'm allowing it, but I really feel super unmotivated to continue today. I guess that has to be the point of this. You know? It's like a sign or something. But it seems like a trigger for me is being restricted. Having my identity's voice somehow restricted in some way, when I know that my intentions are pure and I know my intentions are good, is just so undesirable. So I'm like subconscious mind, cells of my body. I'm doing everything that I can to be taking a vacation from all of this right now. This is the moment where I ask the Lord to please bring forth, as I'm imagining myself healthy, some true change in the body, some true change in the emotional state of being. And whoever did it, I just want you to know, I love you. Whoever did it. Because I know that's the one thing that you won't be able to hear. The rest, the conflict, that's the stuff that's really being sought after. But the moment I say I love you, it unwinds. I just want to sit down now. I just want to sit down. It's hard to explain to all of you, like giving up isn't an option, it's not a desire, and it never happens. There's just setbacks. Just really waiting for I'm waiting for the big payoffs, the big financial freedom. And what people don't realize is how much that enriches their lives. Seeing this guy right here, William Vincent Carlton, with great wealth, it's a really good day. Because he showers you with abundance, wants for you to feel enriched, healthy, happy, secure, never without. And that's the ultimate form of expression for me as a being, is having so much that everyone can just feel like the miracles are happening all around, and I don't have to take any credit for it. It just happens. So when this happens with the restrictions, it's like the opposite of that, you know? I realize that, man, I have to either censor myself and not talk about things that I feel so strongly about, or I speak freely and it slows me down, or I imagine it breaking through barriers. However, in the moments when the restrictions are put on there, you feel it, like the body feels it. It feels like pain. It feels like a no. And it's not desirable. It's not a desirable place to be. Yeah, no, I understand this too. I feel the karma. Yes, thank you to the great gifters, indeed. I agree. From within, hang on a sec, folks. I need 2 hands to get this bottle open. That's the other part too. To the gamers involved who are putting the restrictions on people, I mean, they have no idea what this does. Like, I get all of this energy. I get all of it. So whatever potentially could have been earned, or whatever doorways could have been open for people, whatever help this could have provided them, because it's been restricted by someone, they then have to pay the bill for all that. And I can't explain this to someone. I can't convince them. So I have to just surrender it. But yeah, there was probably a young boy or a girl who needed to hear these things about their body, about their aliveness. They're not hearing it now. So it sets them on a timeline, and this was decided by someone who made an error. Somebody else who needs to just hear that they're loved could potentially take their life today. Now they're not going to hear it. And what TikTok says is that this is somehow protecting the community. It's not protecting the community. It's restricting them from receiving the knowledge that they need in order to improve their lives, so they can get through a moment. So, Margie, thanks for the heart meme, for saying I've missed you. I'm right here. Always been here. So, I just think it's that side of things that's never taken into consideration. And you know, my stubbornness can very easily sabotage things too. I know I can reset this live right now. We'll probably have 100 people in a matter of minutes. I just don't want to do it, because that makes me a slave. Makes me a slave to the system. If I reset it, then I am adhering to TikTok's rules, and I can't. When my intentions are good and when it's meant to help people, I cannot bend the knee to someone who wants to stop and restrict that. Can't do it. Sweru says, we all need to hear you teach. Thank you, Sweru. Thank you. Sissy says, never stop speaking truth. You got it. You got it. You got it. Oh. 11 says, trust what you feel is right. Thank you. I know I could very easily restart this. It's meant to be this way. So an Israeli chemist was able to synthesize anandamide, which is a direct clone, essentially, of tetrahydrocannabinol, THC. And so when you harvest the flower from the cannabis plant, it has to come from a female to have the most dense concentration of what's called THCA. And THCA is an acid form of tetrahydrocannabinol. By itself, it's non-psychoactive, which means it doesn't have a psychoactive experience with the body. However, the moment that you introduce it to heat, the acid component of it drops off. And what is left binds to your CB1 and CB2 receptors in the brain, which gives you the psychoactive effect of relaxation, pain reduction, and a whole slew of a number of things that are really good for your peace, namely forgetfulness. And so the plant has evolved with humanity for the last 30,000 years, according to record, and paleontologists making discoveries in urns and burial sites, residue of the resins, and various evidences have shown that we have evolved with the plant and that it has evolved with us. Until the 1900s. And in the early 1900s to mid-1900s, there was a huge campaign on demonizing the plant, and it was referred to as reefer madness. And it was to indoctrinate people into believing the plant was dangerous, even though no one's ever had an overdose, because it's impossible. It's impossible to OD on something where you have a system in the body that's designed for its reuptake and absorption. I'll say this again. It is impossible to overdose on something where there's a system in the body designed for its reuptake and reception. And we have that. It's called the endocannabinoid system. And this was discovered by an Israeli chemist in 1992. Because no one was paying for it. No one would do the research. He was the one who decided he would synthesize it. And upon synthesis, he discovered that it wasn't just this plant that was having a relationship with humanity in this very unique, original way, but that when we were in deep states of relaxation, long, deep breathing and meditation, its spiritual twin would be synthesized from tryptophan, and it would be released in the body in the form of anandamide. He called it anandamide as the bliss hormone or the bliss molecule, because it bound to the same receptors. So you would see all of these individuals like Buddha or other gurus in their statues, and of course they look blazed out of their minds. Their eyes are closed and heavy, peaceful, weighted down depictions. And you could go and ask someone like Ram Dass, or perhaps you could talk to Sadhguru. Sadhguru gets accused all the time of consuming cannabis when he doesn't. He doesn't consume any drugs. He is in fact synthesizing anandamide so efficiently, purely and beautifully through his own meditative practice that what it does is it gives him the same effect that someone who's blazed out of their mind through the plant would be experiencing. He is literally high in his own supply, provided by the oxygen and electron transport chain and synthesis of anandamide through tryptophan in his body. So yeah, he looks blazed. And technically he is feeling that way, because he surrenders all time, way better than anyone else for the most part that I've witnessed. He surrenders all of his life experiences, all constructs of time, to this idea that his body works as a pharmacy. And he knows that his body works as a pharmacy when he is present, when he is paying attention to the aliveness of the now and not putting any time into life situations, creating a time for life situations to exist. Therefore, he is synthesizing this amazing medicine within him. And he's not alone. Yeah, that movie, Michelle Sparkles says, this movie is called The Botany of Desire. Sueros is facts. It's called The Botany of Desire. 4 specific plants are revered in this film. Cannabis is one of them. Another is tulips. Another one is an apple, or the apple, and then the potato. Talks about how all of these have had a dramatic impact on human existence and consciousness in itself. So The Botany of Desire is a beautiful book and film. It talks about this. Let's get moving. Let's get moving now that I'm feeling better being around this stream. It always is the cure to be around free electrons. And get over these things as they occur. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go visit the elephant tree. I'm going to show you. It's a beautiful one. Thanks for the heartbeat, Lena. Let's go visit the elephant tree today. I should practice more of what I preach, not be so affected by symbols and words and life situations. Okay. Yeah, this is the elephant tree. This one's really unique. I'll show it to you. So the way this tree has grown, the breathwork book, I do have a great book on breathwork actually. It's called Orandai, The Art of Prayer. But it was banned on Amazon.com, or at least it's been shadow banned, because they talk about the degradation of society in its current state. This was about 2 years ago. Now it's fully embraced to where laws are changing because of the things that I've pointed out, but at the time it was very radical. The idea that we weren't born here to be victims of external circumstances. It was a radical concept 2 years ago. That was heresy. And now that entire system is dying, thank the Lord. Everyone who ever believed themselves to be victims, that whole system is dying. This is the elephant tree. You see, this is the tree, or the cluster of them. And it decided to feed off of this beautiful stream. So where the moisture comes out, it finds itself gravitating, and it even created its own outer shell for the root systems. Since they were exposed to sunlight, they started to take on the form that a tree would, with its outer layers. Everything adapts, but I really love this because it looks like it has its tusks, like a woolly mammoth. Ladies and gentlemen, if you followed coming in, I'm really grateful for you. Thank you for being here. And if you followed prior to, I'm really grateful. Siamese says that's beautiful. Svero likes it too. Thanks for the butterfly dances, Lena. It was nice. Very beautiful. Thank you for that. Wendy says, I have an elephant tree in my yard. The trunk is the bottom branch and it has an eye. That's beautiful. Not sure what to say anymore today, folks. It's bringing something up that I didn't realize was here. Let's go have a look at this in the sun. This one too. Green and yellow jasper, perhaps? Lena says, one of the highlights of my morning is watching your lives. Thank you, Lena. Very much for that. Tammy, thanks for the roses. Thanks for that, Lena. Yeah, that's an onyx right there because it goes all the way around. That inclusion there is really a nice one. It's pretty. And this is just quartz, not just quartz, but it's pretty too. That's pretty. Let's get moving now. I'm not sure how anyone could possibly celebrate the silencing of another. I don't understand the satisfaction in that. I mean, I guess you stay alive. Whatever the threat was doesn't get felt as much. But that's not a victory. No one wins from that. It's just a sign of weakness. That's how empires crumble. Oh, let's have a look here. It's a nice conglomerate. And it's got some shiny metal in there too. Cool. I had a wild series of dreams last night. First one was in this hotel, which I've seen over the last few months a few times in my dreams. And anytime I have a repeated dream, it's usually an indication of manifestation, like something's about to happen. And in this dream, I was conversing with a man who I believe was from Japan. Some of the words I recognized in Japanese as hiragana, if that even makes sense. And he was cooking a big amount of eggs, scrambled, in this big hotel room. And he offered them to me. For some reason, I didn't accept them. I don't know why. Maybe it was I wasn't hungry or something, I don't know. But it seemed to upset him, like it was a rejection of his kindness, and it was in some way dishonorable. In any case, I leave the room, And I go to the receptionist because I want to know what room number this is. I left the room without looking at the number, so I wanted to find my way back. When I asked the receptionist said, "Sure, I can tell you the room that you're in. That's no problem. What's your name?" And without thinking, I said right off the bat, "My name is Michael Carlton." Of course, that's not my name. My name is William Vincent Carlton. However, the name Michael Carlton is the name of my brother. I found that interesting. Yes, that was quite interesting. So I had to stop myself and I said, "Excuse me, my name is William Vincent Carlton." And the receptionist seemed to laugh and snicker, like she knew something more than I did. See those sparkles? On the right angle, you can catch them. Right there. Right on the surface. A beautiful shimmer of aventurine. So she says to me, "Your room is number 112. So I go down the hallway and I go to room 112. This time I enter the room and the man from Japan is no longer there. Instead, all the eggs that he had prepared for me, which I somehow rejected, were in the garbage. Just had been tossed in the garbage. And so I went to them and I started to take them out of the garbage and eat them. And they tasted good. They tasted warm and well seasoned, very flavorful. So that dream ended. And then I was awakened into a new state of aliveness. This one, even stranger than the last. I saw myself looking at the surface of the earth from what was being broadcast by the voice of Elon Musk as moon. The moon. Let's take a shortcut today. This is the old horse path. It doesn't get taken any longer. But we'll take it today. He was saying, "Look at the earth from here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to show you your home. Here's the United States of America." And he showed the United States of America. I could see it clear as day from my dream state. I could see it clear as day from my dream state. It was the most amazing thing. It was as if he was looking at me, but looking at the earth. Hello, my friend. Blessings to you. I appreciate you being here with me in peace. I wish I had some food for you. I've never seen one like you before. And I thank you. Thank you for being present with me today. I feel comforted and I love you. I wish I had food for you. I shall continue walking now. And I thank you. I hear you from time to time, in the morning and at night. And I know you're a silent flyer. You're a majestic creature, an embodiment of God. Thank you for being with me today. Please enjoy your sleep. I shall not disturb you any further. God bless you, my friend. Always trust your gut. It clicked. I could hear it click. Otherwise, I would have walked right past it. Great horned owl. I swear I was about to fall asleep with me right there. Probably thinking it's in a dream anyway. Wow. Well, there you go, TikTok. Shows how valuable those restrictions truly are. I could feel its energy. I could feel God in that great horned owl. And it was so close. It could have torn me apart. Oh, look at this agate. This is a monstrous agate. Look at this one. Oh, wow, that was crazy. Look at this agate. It's a carnelian. For scale, it's a size 12. That's a big carnelian. Who knows how deep it goes? Yeah, indeed, Swaru. Continue on the horse path. I'm still feeling the reverberation of that great horned owl. Like a spirit transfer. Some answer. It's unbelievable. Could have stayed there with it for longer, but I wanted to let it sleep. So, in any case, here I am in this dream, right? And I am listening to Elon Musk say to the world, this is the United States of America. Here's another place. Just pointing out areas of the earth. And I just saw chat saying, bullshit. This is all CGI. There's no way. You've stolen our money. It's all a facade. Just as I was about to tell you that, the great horned owl clicks. It's a meter away. So close. Not fearful. But I could see it looking right into my spirit. Right into my spirit. And the way it winked at me, did you see it wink? It went just like that. Sweater says, helped all of us. It's true. I'm glad you saw it, Tammy. I needed it today. I think we all did need it today. We all needed it today. Wow. Now I'm looking all around me. I have to explain to you, I would like to explain to you what I felt. I walk by this horse path every day, just about, and I never take it, even though it's clear this time of year. And something was saying, take it today. So I took the path, talking to you about this dream, about looking from the moon to planet Earth in my dream after the hotel sequence. And I heard a click, like a clicking sound like Predator would make. And it startled me. And as soon as I turned, I saw how close that great horned owl was. Gray and old. Like an elder, man. And I'm so fortunate that the camera was turned so that I could zoom with the back camera lens so that you could see. Sueru says, wise old owl, and Tammy says, no coincidences. Indeed. Whoever was here today was here for a reason. That was the truth. You're here for a reason. That's a once-in-a-lifetime situation. Once in a lifetime. Does not happen. If there was no turn, there would be no owl. And I gotta tell you this too. If there was no community violation restriction, there was no owl. If there was no elephant tree, and discussion of how things wear you down. There was no owl. We had to go through it all. That's what's really special about it. Tammy says, oh, 333, there it is. Isn't it all so amazing? It really is. So synchronistic. Catherine Align says, everything is always working out. I believe now. If I had any doubts earlier, they've been swiftly removed. Sounds like a pileated woodpecker. Let's see if we can catch it. Oh, there are two carpenters at work. My mother and I had a most beautiful afternoon, and we went for a drive for some essentials. And I saw another bald eagle today. This time it was flying to the right, and that great horned owl happened to appear with the right-hand turn. Something's happening. Do you feel it? I want to celebrate with all of you. Promise me we'll celebrate. Go there. New Moon Day. Jamila says, awesome. It's great to see you. Tammy says, happy planetary alignment. Tammy makes the promise. Good. That's a most relaxing sound. Let's continue. Sunflower Goddess Infinite says, peace and blessings, everyone. Thank you, Sunflower. You're always so kind. I want to show you my face to say this. You're always so kind. Every time you come in and say something, it's with pure love. You lift me. Thank you. And know you lift others. Well, I can't wait to get that highlight up. I'm like a little child right now. I just want to keep looking over and over again at the great horned owl wink at me. It literally winked At all of us. Just looking at us. And then clear as day. Clear as day. Tammy, you love nature, Tammy. I do too. Yeah, it was a wild moment. There was a feeling that I had that it was going to dive bomb me. That was the initial feeling. I was like, please don't attack me. And then it was, breathe. Just breathe. I've never seen an owl, like in real life. I've seen videos. I've heard these great horned owls at night or early in the morning, but I've never seen one. And it was right next to us. Right next to us. And then I had this feeling after we were just chilling together that it could have landed on my shoulder. Like I could have actually come in contact with the bird. I felt that comfortable. I could see it. Its demeanor started to come into calm and serenity. And I felt that. We could have had a connection. Trish says, you make a difference. Finding you has helped me so much. I am moving towards much needed peace. Thank you, Trish. Thank you. Me too. I'm moving towards peace today. If I don't take these signs to heart, then I'm making some pretty serious mistakes. That one's just as majestic. Seeing the great horned owl at that short distance is just as majestic as when I came across the Canadian lynx in this woods, which was once. I've only seen coyotes twice, 2 or 3 times. I've seen deer a number of times. I've seen a few bucks. But seeing the great horned owl at that distance and seeing the Canadian lynx also at a very short distance away, the fact that they didn't attack nor flee, it's very reassuring. And so I consider when those interactions occur, I start to consider for myself the narrative that those animals are in affination with me and with you, that there is a connection, an alignment with the great horned owl, the Canadian lynx, the coyote. All right, we're back on the path. Morgan, thank you for sharing. And yes, Tammy, you point out this very important factoid. Rachel, were you here for it? You'll see it in the highlights for sure. It's my greatest highlight on TikTok ever, that I've ever experienced live. It was a good prolonged, I would say at least a minute. And it was in the daylight. I'm so happy you were here for it, Rachel. It was for you, for all of you. Chickadee says, yes, it's true. As does the nuthatch squeaking. Hello, nuthatch. The nuthatches and the chickadees, they are pals. And they look similar. But yes, this was a daylight sighting. I mean, to me, I feel like it's a manifestation because, I had zero awareness that it was there until it clicked. Made a clicking sound and I was like, what is that? And I turned and I could not believe its distance. It was so close. Couldn't believe it. It was just sitting there looking at me like, hey, buddy. Want to keep talking about Elon? Want to keep talking about your visit to the moon? And when you're talking about the great horned owl in this way, I mean, it's totally synchronistic with the story. If you ask me, I see the tie-in to the mystery, to the occult, you know? Oh, here's a beautiful... Ooh, I don't know what kind of woodpecker is that. Is that a downy? Let's see if I can... I think it's a downy. Let's see here. They're having a blast today. There's all these grubs coming out of the woods, out of the trees. Yeah, I think this is a downy. See how close I can get without freaking it out. Yeah, hello, Downy. You having some good meals today? Getting lots of goodies? I bet you are. It's a field day. See how quick they move up the tree? Oh, they're having a feast today. Every time they peel or peek underneath one of these pieces of bark, they're finding grubs. And they are having the finest of fine meals. I fed these guys all winter, and they're nice and plump now. The winter's over, and they made it through, and now they're going to have the best time. They can just enjoy eating. Oh, thank you, Downy. God bless you. Tammy says, so many gifts every day. Yet that was extra epic. Yes. Yes, it was. I mean, I've forgotten about the violation and all the other garbage. It just pales. I still see the brightness of that bird. I mean, we're talking Gandalf the Grey. Like, Gandalf the Grey saying, it's okay, buddy. You followed your instinct. You made a right turn. You wanted to take the horse path today? Sure. I'll come out of nowhere if you're talking about your dream state. I'll tell you you're exactly where you need to be. It was epic. Catherine says, yes, of course, everything is here for us. Just open your eyes and heart to all the blessings. Indeed. So the restrictions needed to happen today so that we would have a very intimate audience. Who says having an intimate audience is a bad thing? So yeah, we needed that. And boy, oh boy, did we receive it. Very nice. I'd love to hear about how people felt, what you felt. Because for me, it's likely to be a once-in-a-lifetime thing. For others, it could be, I see sightings all the time. But for me, it's once in a lifetime, I think. How did you feel when it wasn't flying away and it was peering into your soul? I'd like to know. Rachel says strong. Yeah, it's a good word. It's a good word. This is interesting here. Actually, I probably can't show this to you without being doxxed, but it says there's private land. There's a private land sign here. It's like it was pried off of a tree. Very interesting. Wish I could show it to you, but it tells the exact location with numbers and everything. It's probably not worth it. But it is a synchronistic event. Jamila says, chosen to receive peace. Tammy says I was in mouth-dropping awness. Yeah, me too. Felt these things too. Both the peace and the awe. Felt them both. Now I'm keeping my eye out. Drawn to attention. Thank you for all the love. I would be remiss not to say that too. To all of you. You know, this is really grassroots organic today. Everything that's been done. TikTok has not participated at all in it, bringing anyone here, so I'm very grateful for all those who have arrived and decidedly stayed here for this broadcast. Thank you. This is where I want to just show you this environment. This is where I saw the Canadian lynx. It was right around this area here. And I was facing this way toward the sun. And I was just doing bird call, like, just doing bird call. And then I heard the rustling of leaves. And I looked over, and it was staring right at me. A good 70, 80 pounder. Big Canadian lynx. Pointed ears, big long front arms. Powerful. And it was just looking at me. And then it slowly turned around. Must have disappointed it in some way. And just slowly walked away. Went back to the bog down there. They tend to habitate in bogs. And what they do is they move their home base every day. Because if they stay in one location, the coy dogs and the coyotes will hunt them. And they're just now coming into being here again after a long stint of time where they were believed to be extinct in Connecticut. The Canadian lynx is showing up again. Rarely, but does show up. Michelle says, a calm peacefulness came over me, and I am taking it as a sign that I am moving on the right path indeed. Indeed it is. It's a sign. We were talking about augury earlier today, and augury is the study of the pattern of bird flight. And I had mentioned the passing of ravens and crows over the last few days. But the great horned owl, which I've only heard in the woods early in the morning, and on very rare occasion around dusk. This was in the heart of the afternoon, and it was wide awake until I started talking to it, and then it started to fall asleep again. I could see it starting to ease into itself. Okay, this guy is not a threat to me, nor am I to him. Of course, I'm anthropomorphizing, but that's how I interpreted it. Catherine says, that's amazing. I'd love to see a lynx someday. Yes, it's quite a sight. It's quite a sight. And they do habitate down here in these woods. I've seen them once, and it was a big one. All sorts of mysteries. Let's make our way to the end now, folks. Just I want to say, really, this is my form of saying thank you. Thank you for being with me today through my emotionals, I should call them my emotionals, yes. Try not to take ownership over them. I want to thank you for being here with me and not giving up on me. I was so close to ending the broadcast too. I'm so grateful that I hadn't. Because it led to the experiences that we had that are totally magical and will never happen again. Not in this way. Here's some yipping. Morgan says it's the most wonderful time of the day. I always look forward to it. Thank you, Morgan. You're most special. I'm grateful for you. I hear rustling, so I want to look. Who knows what else could happen on a day like this. So this is all to say I'm really grateful for all of you. You show so much love and compassion. You very easily could have gone elsewhere. But you stayed. It means a lot to me. Thank you, Suero, for all those hearts. And Catherine says a great metaphor for all of life, not giving up and finding the magic again. Yeah, it really hits home. So shows how much power you have and how compassionate you all are and how much of an impact you have on people's lives. If anything, I pray that you feel that. So let's come to our bridge, come to the end of our travels today. And let's send off whatever it is that you can imagine being your wish fulfillment. Please allow yourself the gift of that right now as we do this final station of walking. Tammy, thank you for your 4 roses. So let's do that and step into those gates of the imagination and exercise our kingdom of heaven in truth. I am doing the same. I'm going to that place where I'm most happy right now, seeing myself wish fulfilled. And I had the most beautiful of phone calls with my son today. It was so lovely. I got to see him playing Fortnite with his friends, and he was speaking in Spanish so funnily, in a great way. I mean, because he lives in Mexico, he's fluent in English and Spanish. And I've imagined him and I playing video games together in this way, just spending an afternoon playing games, and then me spending time with my daughter watching a movie and just relaxing and being there, presence. And I felt that today. I felt that from both of them. And so that's where I'm going now. And I hear the catbirds, they're starting up. They're meowing. You heard one. There it is. It's far away, but you can hear it. Listen, sounds like a cat meowing. Meow. There's another one. Yeah, it's in the far distance. It's a very funny bird. So just go there, folks. Go to that wish-fulfilled place right now. I'm going to enjoy a nice meal in my mind with my children. So happy, wish-fulfilled and cared for. We're on our estate and we have a lot of harvest. We've picked a bunch of apples that are still good from last season's harvest. Preserved a lot of it in jam and have a bunch of nice treats ready and waiting for us. Thank you, Morgan, for that manifestation, for the manifesting. It's a beautiful seed to give to all of us. Thank you for your generosity. So just go on to that place that makes you most happy. And if it's something that you feel someone else has that seems impossible for you to attain, it's a great opportunity to say, Infinite Intelligence, which is the source of my life, whatever you're doing for that person, I now ask that you do for me, and then some, okay? That way there's no trespassing and no harm and no foul, and you have everything that you want. Go ahead and go there now and enjoy that wish fulfillment. start to add those final details, whatever they may be. For now, knowing you can always return without any delay or need to fulfill any sort of mantra or anything like that. It's just yours. That's the beauty of the imagination. It's always awaiting your prompt. It's always there for you. All right, let's get a little bit of water since I just stepped into a huge amount of dog poop. A big amount of it. I happen to see what looks like an interesting stone. Also, another interesting stone. And also, another interesting. Yeah, this is all day. I have to stop myself. All right. Catherine says, we create as we dream, and so it is indeed. Sueru says, your video will be excellent. Grateful. Thank you. Most grateful too. All right, folks, here's the bridge. I want you to send off your wishes, your wish-fulfilled state through the feeling of it completed. Send it off to all the universe now, knowing that it is done. It has impressed the subconscious mind, and it is on its way to you. Okay? That's what's great about it. You don't have to know the means or the way. Just believe. Know that today we've moved mountains. Just believe. Whatever it is, only believe, and you've done your work. All right. I'm sending you the fullness of the divine love of my being to bless and prosper you all on this day. In thanks and gratitude for your presence, your aliveness, seeing and knowing it is a gift, a tremendous gift that has manifested in a number of miracles on this day. One of my most favorite of days. Whereas it was once a burden and a challenge, it's now totally converted and released. So, send that message out. Don't hold back. Sunflower says, thank you so much. Have an amazing night. Sending off my letters to the mailbox. To the great mailbox of nature. You can expect this video to be on YouTube tonight at some point. I want to thank you all for being here and taking part in this very magical broadcast. I love you all. May you forever be wish fulfilled on this day and every day moving forward. I believe.